Blessed afternoon, collective. Happy Friday. Happy new moon in Taurus, not Aries. I misspoke numerous times. Oops, it happens. There's a reason. There's a reason for it. It feels like Aries energy, to me at least. It's fresh, it's exciting, it's forward motion. A lot of that has to do with the Jupiter influence and Mercury's and Uranus and the North Node being in Taurus. But we're in it right now. This is the peak. Well, it's not the peak, actually. It's closer to the middle. But yeah, feels good. It's a lot of things. That clog that's breaking loose, there's a lot of shit stuck together with it. Some of it is nice, some of it is not so nice, but all of it is moving, which is all it needs to do. Yeah. I want to pull a reading. I want to pull on the feminine and the masculine just to see what's going on. A little more specific under this new moon energy. But the way that this is feeling for me, first of all, there's nervousness. I feel nervousness. That's not me. The masculine is nervous. Nervousness and excitement, two sides of the same coin, right? There's a desire there. But it's jittery. It's sort of ants in the pants. Gotta make a move. Gotta hit the road. I don't know. There's an impulse in there somewhere. We'll see how that plays out. But personally, unrelated in essence, everything is always related. Under this energy, I am realizing more and more that I don't want anything. And that feels pretty fucking amazing. I don't want anything. I have it right here, right now. All I have ever wanted was to feel good, to be happy, right? That's all anybody wants, is to feel good, be happy. And I understand now how to do that, how to be happy, how to feel good, how to find that for myself. And in fact, all it takes is connecting to presence, which I can do in any moment, through any moment. That's the access point, is presence. I connect to that. It's the source of good feeling. It feels good. And I don't need anything. It's completely unrelated to and unaffected by anything outside of myself. So I have the power to feel happy all on my own, all the time, in any moment that I choose. I don't need anything to happen. I don't really care. I don't care what happens. I don't even particularly have that strong of an interest in what is coming towards me. There's curiosity, but I don't care. I'm good. I live happily ever after because I choose to. Not because of any conditions surrounding me, not because of anything that happens, because of my perspective, my choice to connect to myself, to derive my sense of well-being from the broader being that is well, to tap into the power of source, which is love, is pleasure, is good feeling all of the time, and it's unconditional. And the more that I practice that, the better I get at it. The better I get at it, the more confidence I feel, the more pleasure and satisfaction I derive from it. It is its own positive feedback loop that only expands my capacity to give and receive pleasure, good feeling for myself, in myself, as and by myself. That's pretty fucking spectacular. And I, selfishly, feel a desire to express that because it feels good. Shrek almost had it, that it is you I have loved all along. Not you. I. It is I. That's all I've ever been looking for, is myself. And I got that. And I know how to keep getting it. And I don't need anything else. That's what the divine feminine gets to come to learn, to understand. It's a big shift. It's a big shift in perspective. As within, so without, it always trickles out. But it's about the within. Something is changing for divine feminine internally. I'm putting that out there. I'm feeling it, I'm experiencing it, and I am believing that it's happening for the feminine in general. Look at that. I don't know what's here, man. Come on. It's a complete rebirth, a new perspective on the self, on yourself, and so everything else. That comes after. That doesn't matter. It's not related. If it's not here, it's nothing. It starts within. It's all within. Viewing yourself and your journey in a new way. From a new perspective, an ascended perspective. This is an ascended fool. Fresh energy. Yeah, fucking look at that. Everything. Happily ever after in yourself. It was never about what was outside of you. It's not about anything out there. You don't need any dreams to come true, any physical manifestations to live happily ever after. You don't. Yeah, higher perspective. Seeing all of this, seeing how the wishing, waiting, wanting leads us nowhere. Doesn't satisfy us, doesn't serve us. And even when we get the thing that we thought we wanted, it's not what brings us joy. The joy is within us. It's there all along. Building with ourselves in a new way, a new start, a stable new beginning. Rebuilding the self from the ground up. Rebuilding with the self. What's on top? Resistance. Falling away. All the nonsense being revealed as nonsense. That's just that. Nonsense. Oh, there's some resistance. Oh well. That's okay. I can just avert my gaze. I can just flow around it. I don't have to clear that block. The river flows anyway. It doesn't have to clear out every little section of clog or clutter of sticks. It just keeps flowing. Just keep flowing. All of this gets released automatically when you just flow around it, when you release resistance. When you release resistance to the resistance, guess what? You've released resistance. It all comes together in one fell swoop. When you allow it to be, when you feel something and you go, okay, that's allowed. I surrender to this experience deliberately. That's my power. I have the control to do that. And then you feel better and you're back in your power. Everything shifts because you shifted. That's how it works. Tell me about the divine feminine right now. Let's talk to the universe about the divine feminine energy. What's going on with it? Which, by the way, I feel the need to reiterate has nothing to do with gender and has nothing to do with gender presentation either. It's not a female person or a feminine person that is divine feminine. That's has nothing to do with that. It's a quality of energy. It's a type of energy. It's a polarity of energy. It is that which is the receptive, the nurturing, whereas the masculine energy, again, nothing to do with gender or expression, is just the projective energy. Feminine is actually negative, essentially, in terms of magnetism. Masculine is positive. The feminine is sort of the pull. The masculine is the push. That's how it works. Oh yeah. Seeing this. Seeing through this. Big time. This is being released. Seeing how much this has kept us stuck. There it is. There's the new perspective and the stuckness as well. What's under that? Yeah. A lot of the, okay, there's a lot here. Coming to balance in the self, first of all. Giving to yourself, working with yourself, being your own divine counterpart, seeing how all of this runner, divine masculine, twin flame, whatever stuff has has tied us up. Seeing how putting your life on hold for some person, chasing after some person, pining for them, wanting this one person to come back, is not serving you. It's not serving anybody. If somebody runs from you, let them run. If somebody doesn't want you, you don't want them. That's it. It's not that hard. And it's not a judgment. It's not an indictment. It's not they're a bad person for not wanting you, and you're not a bad person for not wanting them. It's just, okay, energetic mismatch. That's fine. Now I know. Now I have this perspective. I can move on. I can move on. I can let that go. Yeah, to let that go and move on to union within myself. Being my own divine counterpart. Which, yeah, whatever brings in the outside stuff, it doesn't matter. If you don't have the union within, that shit doesn't matter. It will not make you happy. I promise you that. Happiness comes from you, not anywhere outside of you. And furthermore, you don't make anybody else anything. You don't make somebody happy. You don't make somebody feel good. That's their power. That is all their power, emotionally and physically. That's how it works. It is all self-pleasure. When you own that, when you accept that and own your power over pleasing yourself, and you surrender that power to others and you let that be theirs, you don't put yourself on their pedestal. You don't ask them to stand on yours. You stand on your own pedestal. You worship the source that you are, and you let them worship. You encourage them to worship the source that they are, to live in devotion, to connection to that self. Then you're free. You're free. You are balanced in your own energy. Balanced energy feels good. You are in complete control of that. It doesn't rely or depend on anything outside of you. And you live in happiness ever after, by your choice, by your deciding to. I feel the need to cut the cards. So, we're cutting in thirds today. Yeah. What did I just say? There's the happiness. And it's a new dawn, a new day, a new life. For me, it's fresh. It is being reborn in your own energy, shining the light of the divine sun upon yourself, for you, for your pleasure, by you. That feels good. And I don't shuffle anymore, apparently. What's on top? 6 of Cups. Returning to the time of childlike innocence and wonder when the world still believed in magic. There's only a handful of very specific sort of phrases that I have received, but that is one of them in relation to the 6 of Cups. This is the energy that we are restoring. The energy of New Earth, the energy that we're returning to, is this. It's not just old soul energy, past life, whatever. No, this is that healing of really deep wounds, the release of old karma, seeing through all of it, exposing all of it, and letting it go, letting that last vestige of resistance be released, be swept away, be blown away, burned away by your looking at it, by your looking it in the eye, smiling it, kissing it, and saying, I let you go. I see you. I allow you. I allow you to be what you are. You are serving me in this moment by allowing me this experience of seeing, of witnessing that which I have clung to, and which, by clinging to, has clung to me and held me down. Now that I see it, I just do that. I just let it go. I don't push. I don't peel it off of me. I just allow it to be as it is. And in so doing, it is released and is sublimed. It's able to transmute into something else. There's a powerful new beginning taking place here. Yeah, okay. Animals for the masculine this time. The witches want to talk too, but we'll get to that. 10 pentacles. 10 pentacles at the bottom for the masculine. Everything's shifting here too. I mean, it can't not. That is the influence of the energy. That's what's happening right now. Earth is ascending. Humanity is spiritually awakening. Like it or not. Try or not. It's happening. It just happens. Look familiar? Oh, and by the way, what's under the sun over here is the Magician. There's that transmutation. And the realization that you have everything you need. You release the karma. You have all the tools. You have all the keys within you. You give to yourself. 6 of Pentacles underneath that. Yeah, there's a lot of clarity happening over here too. This sun is a little bit sharper, I want to say. More piquant. It's a little hotter. More intense. But it is shining a light into a lot of crevices. Why? What's underneath that? Yeah. Well, first of all, it is all about bringing things to balance. It's time to pay the piper. To realize what we've been giving to acknowledge that, to own our own energy. Everything that exists in your life, you have manifested. Like it or not. You asked and it is given. And you always benefit from it, because if you're given something that you don't particularly enjoy, you get to realize with clarity what type of energy you've been putting out there. And you get to realize with clarity what it is that you would enjoy. And so you shift from there. It's just information. It's exactly the same as using a radar. You move a little bit this direction and you bump into a rock and go, oh, there's a rock there. Now I know. Circle this spot. I go this direction until I bump into something, and gradually you sort of map out your own landscape, the landscape of yourself, the landscape of your desire, the landscape of your own energy. I was thinking the other night a lot about sort of shooting into the wind, in essence, but a little bit blindly. You have your own energy and trajectory, but then you also have environmental energy. And it's just a matter of sort of taking a shot, seeing where it lands, and then calculating the environmental energy, all of this internally, sort of course. And as you take shots and land in different places, you begin to adjust more accurately to move in flow with the environmental energy, the broader stream. And then you have no resistance because you're moving with the broader stream and it all feels good. And yeah, new perspective. Hanged Man on this side too. Realizing we've held ourselves back. Yep, the Hermit. Given to things that are not nurturing the soul because we've been afraid. Because of fear. Because we've been hiding from ourselves. It's time for that to end. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's all coming up. The things we've been hiding. The soul has been pushed down so far. But we can't anymore. It's just coming up. That's the result of this energy. The soul energy, empathy, the feminine is rising. We can't run from our souls anymore. Once your soul wakes up, it doesn't go back to sleep. It doesn't. You can try. It doesn't work. It stays awake. And it pushes more and more. It gnaws at you. It screams at you to follow it, to listen to your own intuition. Your own feminine energy. And there's the Magician. This is powerful stuff. I mean, yeah, it's time to change. It is time for a sudden transformation. It is a feeling of the masculine looking around their life and not recognizing it anymore. Not recognizing themselves anymore. Understanding that they have already changed. They have already become a different person. And now everything that surrounds them, all of the trappings of their old identity, no longer fit. They don't match. And it's time for them to go. It's time for them to go. What's on top? Oh my God. How many major arcana am I going to pull on just the surface here? Yeah, it's already changed. The cycle change has already happened. This transformation has already taken place. The world, the life that they live in, and that we have lived in by extension, again, all of this energy applies at every level. It is within, it's without. Everybody has masculine, everybody has feminine. It doesn't even matter if you identify as one specifically or the other. You have both. This affects you in both ways, in some capacity. It's a realization that we've changed, and it's time for everything around us to shift as a result of that, to match. Tell me about the masculine energy right now, please. Okay, that was quick. And that came back. We'll look deeper into that. Yeah, okay. It fell out in reverse, 8 of Wands. We've held ourselves back, and this is the result. We've held ourselves back. There is communication. There is a breakthrough trying to take place that we've been resisting out of fear. The result of that is excruciating pain that needs to change. Again, this is the karma. To just surrender. To surrender control. That's what the masculine energy thinks that it wants. Thinks that it wants. Doesn't actually want. Thinks that it wants. The ego thinks it wants control. Because it's afraid. It believes that if it doesn't have control, then it all falls apart. Everything falls apart. It all goes bad. Bad, bad, bad. Danger. That itself is the illusion. That is fear trying to control you, trying to keep you stuck. Fear serves you in that when you experience it and you see, pay attention to what it's telling you not to do or to do in a given circumstance. Pay attention to what the fear is trying to pull you back from. That's where you go. That's your doorway. That is your key right there. Go where the fear is standing in front of. The masculine energy, the ego, masculine within all of us, the ego and the mind, is afraid of surrendering control. It thinks it wants control. It doesn't. What it really wants, where the pleasure actually is, it's in the surrender. Absolutely. Always the surrender to your highest self, to the present moment, which is you. When you accept the present exactly as it is, without seeking to change it, when you embrace it fully, you are, in fact, embracing and accepting yourself exactly as you are. You are giving yourself divine love, embodying the source spirit being that you are, and sending that love to you. You are sending and receiving it. You are filling your own cup. You will feel the delicious pleasure of that. That's the key. And it's what the masculine energy in all of us is here to learn. Let's pull out what's going on with the feminine. I'm going to take the sun off the top, which has that magician underneath as well. Both sides with the magician underneath their baseline energy, fueling it in essence. It's time for this transformation. It's time to realize you have all the tools. That's the last piece of karma. See through that illusion. Let's talk about the feminine energy. Getting back to yourself. Getting back to being your true authentic self. Letting your authentic self be embodied and expressed by you. Tell me about this 6 of Cups crossed by the sun. Seeing your whole life in a different way. Realizing the divine plan in all of it. Noticing it. Consciously acknowledging it. How it's all always been working out for you. Letting that fuel your faith. Yeah. It's time for new adventure. Feeling loved and supported. Again, returning to the childlike innocence and wonder. If there are 2 cards that embody that energy, it's these 2. Childlike innocence and wonder. Believing in magic. Believing in the universe. Believing in fairies. Seriously, all of that stuff. Being curious, expecting adventure and surprise and delight around every corner, and knowing that there's always another corner to turn. What's on top here? Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's a change. Both sides have transformed. Transformation has taken place. The entire collective is experiencing this. The world has shifted. We are in a new cycle. We are rising in dimensions. We are, in fact, in 4D already. That's been the case. We're moving. We are escalating. Things are escalating. We're releasing karma. That's how it works too. Fifth dimension is less dense. Karmic energy is heavy. Lower vibrational energy is heavy. We can't take it with us. We're releasing it. How do we release it? By feeling it, by facing it, by expressing it, by looking it in the eye and allowing it. That's how it's released. This is happening. Absolutely massive transformation taking place. It's a new cycle, and it's all up from here. It always has been. Always has been. But it's becoming patently obvious. This is the joyful journey that we are on. To enjoy, to be curious, to explore, as the soul desires, as the old soul, ancient souls here leading this. Absolutely ancient souls, the forerunners of this. Because it's time. What's read with the Page of Wands crossing it? Page of Pentacles. I love that. So, it's just this eagerness to learn and to express, to communicate. It's the light bulb going off and suddenly realizing that you love this. A new perspective on the journey, a new appreciation for how all of this grows your energy. Seeing the whole process from a new perspective. Oh, I experience this and I do a little bit of this and I learn and my energy grows and I feel good. And then another lesson comes and I'm eager to learn. It's just bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to walk into the classroom of life. I love being this student of life, of myself, on this never-ending journey, knowing that I'm always learning more. I'm always growing. It's all a practice. There's no test. It's just continual practice, and by practice you improve. By practice you gain confidence and stability. And it just becomes more and more satisfying. You get better at the thing that you're practicing, and then you feel good about it. You feel good about participating in that process. You see how you're improving, and you're excited to test yourself, to learn more, to keep growing. Just like any skill, anything that you do and you see your progress, you see that you're making progress, and then you get addicted to that, to making progress, and you start to trust. You know it's going to happen one way or the other. What's read with the world here? It's fast. It is. Once you catch on, it's like that. It's the light bulb goes off and you take off running. And nothing stops you. Nothing stops this freight train. Once the soul catches wind of itself, it realizes its own power, realizes it has the power to reunite, to be in union with itself in any given moment, that it doesn't need anything outside. It's got all the power and all the pleasure right here, right now. You're off to the races and you don't stop. You just escalate. The feminine energy is taking the fuck off like a rocket. Absolutely just exhilarating. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, it's a firework. It is a rocket. It's more than that geyser. And of course, this brings stuff you attract in a different way because of this. But it's not about that. And it's realizing that too. It's realizing it was never about trying to attract or manifest anything. It's about feeling good. And you can do that for yourself. Once you discover that, you have that liberation. You have that freedom. You're free. You're unchained. You're not a part of the matrix anymore, the three-dimensional illusion. You are free and you never go back. You can't unknow. You can't unsee from this new perspective. It just gets higher and bigger and more expanded. That's it. Taken off running on this journey, excited. Oh, that feels good. Put that back there. Okay, let's talk about the masculine. Equal and opposite reactions, right? Resistance to this feels like shit. I can just say that. Take that off the top. Again, the magician directly underneath. Fighting this transformation, but aware that it needs to take place, and all you got to do, again, is release resistance. You don't have to push the noodle, as Abraham says. You just let it go. Healing is not effort. It's not an additional step. You just stop fighting it. You stop fighting your own energy. You just release. You express your truths. You surrender all outcomes. You surrender control. You move with the energy. The energy is taking us all anyway. It is, because it's time. It's too big. We triggered the ascension mechanism, the generator of the cosmos. It's already happened. There's no undoing that. Again, that's, yeah. Okay, that's it. What's going on? Queen of Swords. There's some painful truths over here, for sure. But a new determination as well. There's determination here to face something, to speak something. Yeah. Something unequal. There's a realization of the inequality over here. That we, again, haven't been giving and receiving. We haven't been given to the things that are nurturing us. We haven't been given to ourselves. We've been expecting from others to fill some sort of hole, to fill a gap, to fill a space within, and that's not how it works. And at the same time, we've been withholding our own love, withholding our own truth. There's something that needs to change. Yeah, we've been afraid. Going halfway, half-hearted, rather than going all in for ourselves. A realization that fear has been holding us back. We need to just do it. You need to just say, fuck it, and do it. Energy, that's surrendering control. That's what that is. Fuck it, I just gotta go with it. I just gotta flow my own energy. Whatever happens, happens. I just gotta go in. I just gotta speak my truth, share my cup. That's it, because not doing it doesn't feel good. I'm not happy with myself. There is disappointment. There's a lot of disappointment over here for not acting authentically to the self. The soul is awake now. You can't unsee it. Again, yeah. What is on top with this whopper-jawed Eight of Wands? I mean, do I have to say it? It's the Two of Cups. Somebody wants love and they know they don't have it. I want to focus this back to the internal energy, because it is, again, that realization. Ego thinks that it wants control. It doesn't. What it wants is surrender. What it wants is the feminine energy. Always. Masculine energy wants the feminine energy. Again, nothing to do with gender. It's positive and negative. Can I put it that way? The positive side of the magnet wants the negative side of the magnet. It's drawn to it. That's it. The negative side of the magnet is actually okay. It's fine. It doesn't need anything. But the positive side wants to balance. It is drawn to the negative. And there's something that's expired. You know, it's been a while since I recognized it this way, but these roses, they're cut, right? They're not attached to a plant anymore, which means they're slowly dying. They are dying. They are withering. It's something that has expired, something that has been kept too long. We've held back this energy. We know we've clung to something that isn't serving us. It's time to let it go. It's time to throw this away, to let the rose that is withering simply wither, and plant a new seed, to draw from the source that is eternal, the one that is alive, that is living, that the feminine energy is connected to. That's how you access it within, through your own feminine energy. You direct your masculine, your ego, towards the feminine, the soul, the intuition. You access that broader self, the source in the moment, and then you don't have a cut plant, a cut flower. You're attached, perceiving yourself as attached to the living thing, the actual living, breathing organism that is love. What's red with the Queen of Swords crossing it? Temperance. Oh. Yeah. I mean, it's realizing how out of balance we've been. When the masculine rejects the feminine energy inside and out, we're out of balance. Yeah. There's a drive to communicate. It's too much fire, too much masculine. Again, it doesn't actually want control. It wants to surrender. The soul is pushing for that. It understands there's release, there's relief in that, in putting out and quenching this fire. It's actually a positive sensation. Surrender always feels good. It is the source of good feeling. That something, again, has been kept out of balance for too long. Yeah. And just the deck sort of split itself as I'm looking on the Six of Cups and the Eight of Cups. Yeah. The old soul is awake. It's just a clinging to the past. We gotta let it go. We realize we gotta let it go. We gotta let go of the past. It's not here anymore. It is past. It's gone. It is that recognition that we have changed. One way or another, under this energy, we're different. And everything that's surrounding us is now old. It's gotta go. We gotta let it go. That's the only way things come to balance. What is red with the Two of Cups? The Hierophant. All the keys are within. There's always an option. We always have a choice. We are never trapped. We're never stuck. The answer is within. The answer is just flowing with your own energy. Again, there is a powerful spiritual lesson in this, and it's being delivered. There's no missing it. There's no missing it. It's painfully clear. Painfully clear that we've sat in situations, connections, circumstances that are not serving us for far too long, that we've told ourselves we had no other choice, that we were trapped here, or that this was the only way or the right way, when we were just unhappy. Desperately, we were just trying to fill somebody else's expectation or not disappoint them or ask them to fulfill ourselves. We were looking for love in all the wrong places. It was never out there, ever. It's always and only ever is found within. And you always have the choice to do that. You have the choice to release. You have the choice to surrender, to walk away, to let go. Masculine energy is being asked to let go of control for all of us, within and without. Yes, this applies to specific people and whatever, but I don't care. I gotta be honest, I just don't fucking care. I am so disinterested in the whole runner thing anymore. I just care about the energy aspect of it and the way that this affects general collective. And the way it affects general collective is through individuals, primarily through the individual internal experience of this energy. So that's my focus. But it plays out in every level, every layer. It always does. That's how energy works. It wraps around and around and around and just gets bigger or smaller. These are truths that can't be unknown, can't be unseen. And there's a real push to take action because there's a realization that not acting, that fighting the energy, that resisting it isn't, it doesn't feel good. I just put it that way. It feels terrible. It feels like this. It feels like 3 swords stuck through your heart. It's not even, a heart. It's just ripping ourselves to shreds to hold that back, to try to fight the flow of your own life and your own energy. And it does not work anymore. If at one point it did, it doesn't now. It's all changing. Again, we've set off that generator, the ascension generator, and it's not going to stop. The witches want to pull a bridging energy, so I'm going to let them do that. Because there's definitely something interesting here. 6 of Pentacles, yeah. For the feminine, it's generosity and gratitude. Actually, gratitude in yourself. Gratitude in the self. For this new perspective. New gratitude for this whole journey, for this whole experience. Realizing how it's just helped you grow your own energy. How it's helped you discover happiness within. And if that hasn't happened yet, don't worry. That's a part of this. That's what this journey is for. To teach you, to show you how to give and flow your own energy, fill your own cup, and live happily ever after in yourself. That is the purpose of this journey. The twin flame journey, or whatever you want to call it, soulmate, divine counterpart, yada, yada, yada. It's about the rise of the feminine energy. To help all of us realize our roles as divine deliberate creators. And that means stepping into the 5th dimensional self, which means as you embody that, you recognize you don't need anything to feel good. You deserve to feel good. You are worthy of feeling good right now. And you can right now by accessing the source of good feeling through yourself. 5th dimensionally, higher dimensionally. It's just, it's consciousness. It's difficult to describe. But for the masculine, I mean, there's this being realized too. It's time for things to come to balance. It's time to pay the piper. It's time to realize they've been working against themselves. For the masculine energy to realize that it's been working against itself. For ego to see through its own illusion. To see it's only ever been preventing the pursuit of its own happiness. Really. It's underneath that justice. Yeah, time to pay the piper. Time to come to balance. The energy is balancing. Karmic debts are paid. Jupiter is collecting. It's not apologetic. It is not shy. And it doesn't ask either. It just does. It just collects. It just shows up. It's just the repo man. The repo man doesn't ask if you would please pay this karmic debt. It just, it takes it back. It's repossessed, that's what it is. Tell me about the bridge. Okay. I didn't get very far. Hold on. Bridging energy between 6 of Cups and the reversed 8 of Wands. Why did I want to call it an 8 of Pentacles? Distractions are working. And again, yeah, all of the bullshit, all of the lying, all of the distracting that masculine energy tends to do in running from itself, it doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't, because everybody's heart chakras are being opened. Whether or not you have done the spiritual work, it's happening. The ascension generator, it's all being triggered. It's just what it is. It's in the energy. Humanity is spiritually awakening. That means chakra centers being opened, being activated, specifically the heart, which has been closed societally for a long time. For a long time. It is this emergence out of nowhere, seemingly for a lot of people, of profound emotion, of empathy, of soul energy, and a desire to make a change. There's the Magician for the third time from the third deck. It's time to transmute. It's time to allow this karma to be released. Jupiter is collecting it. It's collecting it like a magnet. It's just sucking it all up. You can fight that. You can fight against it, which the masculine energy tries to do, and then creates suffering for itself and the resistance. That's it. Or you can flow with it, which feminine energy, intuitively, because it is, wants to do. Because it understands the power of surrender. And that it has everything that it needs. There are dramatic and sudden shifts taking place. I'd be a little surprised not to see a tower. Oh, there's the Hanged Man. Yeah. It's powerful new perspectives. It's time to go. It's time to make a change. The feminine energy is seeing that it has all the power and all the pleasure and everything that it ever wanted. The masculine energy is going, gosh, I'd like a piece of that. I would, that seems nice, actually. Everything that I've been doing doesn't feel so nice. It seems like the feminine energy knows something that I don't. I have to admit to that and admit that there's good feeling to be found that I've been blocking myself from. It feels like victory. Again, it feels like victory for the masculine energy to come towards the feminine. That's because it is. That's because that's what it really wants. Ego wants to surrender to the feminine. That's where the pleasure is. It's starting to believe that in a broader way, in a more obvious way. It's the last piece of the sort of karmic puzzle in the energy. But you don't need anybody to come towards you. If you're applying this to a specific individual, and I'm not, it's whatever. But if you are, that person doesn't need to come towards you. And you don't need to be with them. That's hopefully something that's being realized. You can just forgive them. You can just see all of this from your higher perspective and go, oh, I get it. It was all part of my healing journey, the universe balancing energy, me discovering this new perspective for myself, expanding my consciousness, growing my power, learning how to tap into source and that stability and well-being, flowing that for myself. It all makes sense. Thank you. Actually, thank you for running for me. I get it. You are dismissed. You are dismissed. You're relieved of this burden. And that's it. You can just let that go and go on living happily ever after. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. It's all good. Tell me about the bridging energy between the World and Two of Cups. Yeah, there's a bunch of soulmate connections coming in. I'm not gonna lie. It's a whole bunch of them. That's part of this too. As we recognize ourselves as souls more than people, we start to recognize that in one another in a more powerful way. Yeah. Okay. This is interesting. Five of Swords that fell out. Six of Pentacles on the bottom. It is that realization that it was never about this. For the feminine energy, it's the realization there was a little short-sighted. It was a little short-sighted to pin everything on this counterpart connection, on this runner, this whatever. That we gave a lot to that without reciprocation. And that really, it's all been teaching us that was, I don't want to say the wrong thing to give to, but not what we really wanted. Again, when these whole connection, the journey of all of this has been to teach us, unlock within us the ability to flow love in ourselves, unlock our own heart chakras and expand them. our own ability to give and receive love within ourselves, to fill our own cup. It was never about this other person or situation or thing or whatever. And on the masculine side, it is a realization that fighting this change, that fighting the feminine, resisting the feminine, is self-sabotage. That's short-sighted on their part, not opening up. And on the part of ego, again, ego thinking that it wants control, thinking that there's a victory in control, when that's a false victory. It's not satisfying, it doesn't serve it, doesn't get it anywhere, doesn't actually feel good. The real victory is in surrender, it's in vulnerability, it's in balancing with the feminine energy. That's where the good feeling is found, and there the deck splits. On the Nine of Cups, there's the good feeling. Yeah, that's the wish, that's the dream come true, is just to balance in the self. That's all I got. But speaking of fairies, there happen to be fairies on this card. There's only a handful, maybe 2 or 3 in this deck that have fairies on them. But I mentioned them, so they wanted to make themselves known. There you go. Yep, they're around. Oh, okay. What's the bridging energy between Page of Pentacles and Temperance? It's communication in some way. In balance, I mean, the feminine is learning how to balance in herself. The masculine is learning it wants to. I'm not sure that it understands how, but it wants to. And it sees that the feminine is doing that, and it is curious. It wants a piece of that. Again. Yeah, there's that spying energy. It sees that the feminine is doing it. Sees that the feminine is learning lessons. It seems like feminine is really living their best life, really growing and expanding and doing all kinds of fun stuff. And I'd really like to be a part of that. I'm not sure that I know how, but I would like to know how. What's on top? High Priestess. Yeah. There's a push to communicate. It is the feminine leaning into herself, leaning into intuition. And the masculine just sort of looking at that. The masculine energy, again, ego, is not intuitive. That's how this works. It's why the divine feminine in these cycles has an advantage. It's why she wakes up first. It's all a part of the plan. It's all how it works. The divine feminine is the intuitive energy. It is natural, intuitive for her to take this spiritual journey, to go within and start trusting the feelings and all of that stuff. For the masculine energy, masculine dominant energy, the ego dominant energy, it doesn't make sense. But what is the logic? What's the reason of it? I need the plan. I need to see the numbers. It's a challenge. It is. That's why ego death is what it is. It's a process. But masculine energy is being driven to it because it's starting to want it. It's starting to see that the methods of its own madness are not working. It's just madness. There's not really a method here. It's not serving anything. It's not generating anything. In fact, it seems to be keeping us stuck and disappointed. There's a lot actually of disappointment in the self for the masculine, and only ego ever judges itself as well. So, yeah, it's just everything is coming up. We're being forced to look at it. No matter who you are, we're being forced to look more deeply at ourselves so that things can come to balance. And you either accept the lesson with gratitude, or you resist it and, fight it, feel disappointed in yourself for behavior. That's just more ego. Ego is what feels shame. You don't have to feel shame. Source is not judging you. You learn the lesson when you're ready to, when your soul is ready to, when your consciousness is ready to. It's not too late. It's not, oh gosh, it took me this long to figure it out, or why have I been doing this so long, sabotaging myself? Well, because it took you this long. That's it. It's okay. You're an infinite being. You got forever. You'll be okay. There's no race. There's no end to this journey. There's plenty of time. It doesn't exist. It's now. Now is the moment. All of that had to happen so you could reach this now moment where you see it, where you look at it, where you face it, you acknowledge it, and instead of judging yourself and beating yourself up about it and feeling disappointed, you go, okay, all of this taught me this. It all happened to bring me to this new perspective where I could look at this really in the light of day with clarity and see how I've been causing my own suffering. I've been working against myself. I've been letting fear control me, and that's just generated more pain. I'm just creating suffering by my resistance. If I just let go, I don't feel the suffering. So let me just let go. That's it. You don't gotta unclog the pipes. You just lay new ones. That is it. Okay, last bridge here between the Knight of Swords and the Hierophant. That's interesting energy. It is like a bolt from the blue. It is sort of a eureka, light bulb, epiphany, and a sudden exodus as well. That's definitely here. That gotta go. Just get out. Just gone. Seven of Wands. What's on top? It's definitely new. Oh, two. Okay. Two cards. Yep. Four of Pentacles in the Chariot. There's that Exodus energy. And there's what's been holding us back. Fear. The things that we've been clinging to. The long-term, old perspective, old way of being. The defensiveness, the rigid thinking. The demand that it must be logical. That it must make sense. It's just time to go. It's break away. Again, Kelly Clarkson, it's break free. It's just realization that we have kept ourselves in a box and that we no longer fit. We don't fit in it anymore. And we can't deny that. This box is too small. It is too limited. The box of our belief, the box of the life that we have built around ourselves out of the fear of our own expansion, of our own power. It can't contain us. We are outgrowing it. We have outgrown it, and we're just bursting through it. It's falling apart. We don't fit in the box anymore, and so the box is bursting. Suddenly, it's it's a little bit like the Hulk. I don't know why. That's just how I'm seeing it. Well, Bruce Banner turned into the Hulk. It just happened. There's no way to deny that now. And all his clothes ripped off. They don't fit anymore. They just fell away. Somehow the little tiny shorts stayed on. Never quite understood that one, but no, it's just, yeah, everything is falling off. We don't fit. We are too big for these britches now, my friend. And there's no denying it. You gotta get a bigger pair of pants. You gotta get something else. You gotta get a Hulk-sized shirt for your Hulk-sized human being. Your Hulk-sized heart, actually, because the heart chakra is expanding dramatically. It's just bursting open. And that's why. It's under the Seven of Wands. King of Pentacles. Yeah, we've clung to stuff for far too long that no longer serves us. seeing that it is a security blanket. It's just there out of fear. Fear doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you stuck. It keeps you stagnant. We've outgrown it. We have outgrown the blankie. It's time to leave it behind. I had one. I talked about it in another video. It was hard to let go of blankie. I loved blankie. I still love blankie. But, you know, at a certain point I had to realize I'm a big girl. I don't need blankie. It's not blankie that makes me feel secure and confident in myself. It's me. And thank you, blankie, for being with me and helping me realize this, that I never needed you all along. You know, I didn't need that crutch. Deck split on the 3 of Wands. Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to go. It is time for masculine energy to move towards feminine because it wants to, because it sees victory in that, it sees pleasure in that, within and without. I mean, that's how you balance in yourself. That's how it works. You recognize, you view your own ego and show it by stepping back and observing how it chases its own tail, how it generates fear that just stands in the way of something that it wants, actually. By doing that, you reveal to ego the illusion that is cast over itself. And then it starts to work against itself, which really is for itself in a new way. It realizes it's been working against itself. Now that it knows that, you sort of reverse psychology your own ego and face it the other direction. And it goes, okay, I want to do the thing that works. I see now this hasn't been working. I see now when I feel fear, that's just me trying to trick myself. That is something that I want. So, I see you, self, ego. You're telling me not to do this thing. I'm going to do the thing that you're telling me not to do. That's where the satisfaction is. And in fact, I feel good about doing that regardless of what the outcome is, regardless of where it is I'm going. I feel good about having seen through my own illusion. Now I'm in power. I'm flowing with my own energy. I'm balancing within myself. That's where good feeling comes from. I'm starting to understand this process by practicing it more and more. I gain confidence in it. I get better at it. I feel better. And now I'm just flowing and blowing in my own energy, living happily ever after without anything changing. That's how it works, people. That's what humanity, that's what the collective is coming to realize. It's going to take some time. Yeah, absolutely it is. We still got 10 years before the official, I think, start of the age of Aquarius, but we are in the transition. That's a 10-year period. We are in the introduction, the beginning of the age of Aquarius. We're in it now. It's already begun. And there's going to be dramatic shifts in the next 10 years. Starting already. It's already started. It's all up from here. And it's all escalating. And it will continue escalating. It's all putting us on a higher path. Helping us release our resistance. Helping us deliberately, consciously choose to walk the soul path in conscious awareness. That's what feels good. That's the feeling of your own hands and your own clay, and that's all anybody actually wants, is to be themselves, to embody themselves authentically. That's all I got. Yeah, that feels complete, actually. I don't think I need to pull anything else, so that's it. This resonates for me. All I care about is balancing my own energy, because that's what feels good. I encourage you to try it. Don't take it from me. Do it for yourself. Experience the results. Experience the delicious satisfaction of that. And then let me know. Let me know how that feels. I mean, it's everything. It's quite literally everything. It's all that exists. This is the reading. That's all I got. No real profound dramatic ending, but it resonates for me in that I intend. It resonates for you. Is true. Suddenly I can't speak anymore. So have a blessed evening. Let me know how you're feeling. How are you experiencing this new moon? Got some interesting aspects coming up. And of course, June is fast approaching, which is where things really kick off. We have Pluto slipping back into Capricorn, which will be very interesting. I don't know how that's going to play out, but it's a lot of exposure. Overexposure is the feeling of it. So I intend this resonates. I would love to know. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you feel inclined. But really, just get to feeling good in yourself, because you deserve it. You are worthy of it, and you are capable of it right now. That's it. Have a beautiful, blessed evening, my lovely collective. And know that always, through every vector of time and space, I love you.